Despite their best efforts, you've heard of the SCP Foundation before, right? The big, scary, shadowy organization that rips mostly innocent beings away from their lives and loved ones to hold them hostage indefinitely for no other reason than to keep up the veil of secrecy or whatever that means. I sure have. I'm sure, like most Wanderers, you're not happy about them either. Maybe you associate with Hand, one of your... No, Azazel, we're not done yet. You have to... The left? Click back to the slideshow. Now scroll down. Fuck, sure, yeah, you can click that one. Great. Point is, maybe you've made some cutting political comics or memetically hazardous art you want the jailers to see and don't know how to force it into their retinas. Well, I have a solution for that. I figured out a way to get into their intranet and upload images into their own databases. First things first, go to the SCP Wiki site and click on the For New Users tab in the sidebar. It's a lot of words, but make sure to read the entire Guide for Newcomers page and then the Guide for Joining page linked at the bottom of that one. Now, I can't explain exactly how to get in here because there's some stuff on that page that you really need to read yourself to get in. It's just required. But once you've read all that and found what you need to find, apply to join. If you've done it right, you'll be let in a few days. It's pretty easy and they're really not all that picky. You're also going to want to apply to the Sandbox site. This will make setting up artwork pages easier later on. That's also explained in the Guide for Joining. And congratulations, you've hacked into the SCP Foundation's internal database. Or, I guess they just let you in. Weird how that works. Almost like it's just a creative writing site, not a real authoritarian shadow leadership. Anyways, you're in. Now, how do you post art? First up, you're going to need to decide what type of art page will work best for you. If you have less than 3 pieces, you can use artwork pages. Artwork pages are to highlight individual pieces or small series. They're for singular pieces or a couple of different pieces that all match together. If you have 2 pieces that don't really go together, you're going to have to make 2 artwork pages. However, if you have 3 or more pieces that don't fit together, I'd suggest making an artist page. Artist pages are general hubs for artists, used as kind of like a home base of sorts. Artist pages are the art equivalent of an author page. If you wanted to, you could just post all the art you ever made in one singular artist hub and just never make another art page. These kinds of art pages aren't exclusive either. You can have a main artist hub with all your art and a bunch of artwork pages for individual works. You can even have links to your artwork pages on your main artist hub. That's what I do. So let's look at a few examples. This is my artist page. It has basically all of my art on it. At least all of the stuff I've posted here. And if you click on the artwork page links, it'll bring you to one of my artwork pages. This particular page is focused on the group of pieces from a single video. This format has a bit more commitment than having a singular artist page that you post all your art on, but more people tend to see your art this way. I mean, at least you get more feedback on it. There's pros and cons. So, once you've decided on the type, pull up your Sandbox page. You're going to need to put an image in there first. Click on that little button thingy that looks like this. It should add the code for you on the page. See the line that says source? We're going to need to replace that with something that will display the image. There are 2 options for putting an image on a wiki.page. page. You can either host it on the wiki proper, or you can upload it to an external site. First, we're going to talk about on-site. If you do so, it's important to compress the image first with an image compressor, or you can just save it to a smaller canvas. We're just trying to keep the file size small. Once you've got that all sorted out and saved, click the link at the bottom that says Files, then click the one that says Upload a file from your computer. Then just click to open the file system and select the image you've created. You can change the name of the file here, but if you do, just make sure to keep the thing at the end that says .png, .jpeg, .gif, or whatever the file extension is. Then, just take the name of the file, open the draft again, and paste that where the word source is in the link. So that's the first method. Another method that might be slightly easier for beginners is to host the art on another site. You can use either Imgur or DeviantArt. Whichever one's easiest is probably the best bet. It doesn't matter which one. First up, go to the site and upload the image there. After you're done, right-click the image and click Copy Image Address. Then, open the draft again and paste the address where the word source is. Then, once you save, you'll have the image on your page. Aside from the image, every page needs a rating module at the top. For that, I'd probably just copy it from the SCP Wiki style guide. You can also find the code for that in Uncertainty Crossing's guide for posting art on the wiki, and there's a good chance you're already on that page. If not, I've linked it below. Rating modules are what let people vote on your content. Just like articles, art pages can be deleted if the vote gets to -10. This might be scary, but don't let it dissuade you. If this happens, don't worry. You can't please everyone, and sometimes they'll give you tips in the comments. You're never going to get in trouble exclusively because no one likes your post, and you can try again if you're up for it. Another thing you're going to have to do is add some sort of information about the art somewhere on the page, even if it's just in the comments. And if it's based on a specific article, you can link to that as well. If it's a hub page that's going to have a ton of images on it, try putting each of the images under a collapsible. Collapsibles are like magical little links that hide anything inside of them until they're clicked on and speed up loading time. If you'd like to use them, add 2 left brackets, then the word collapsible, then 2 right brackets. Under that, put any images, text, etc. you'd like to be in the collapsible. At the end of all that, do the same thing you did at the top, but add a / in front of the word collapsible. Hit save and check if it works. If you'd like the collapsible to say something fancy instead of just the default text, you can put a space after the word collapsible and type show equals open quote whatever you want in here, close quote, and hide equals open quote whatever you want, close quote. Show will be what the collapsible text displays before clicking on it, and hide will be what it says after clicking on it. You only need to do this on the top one. If you do it on the bottom one, it'll break it. You could also copy the code for this from another page. It's really not all that hard to find. Now, you've more than likely noticed that my art page looks a lot different than your art page right now, and that's because I used a theme. Now, I used the CSS module to make my own theme, and you can totally do that if you know how to do CSS. But if you don't know CSS and you still want to add a theme, other people have made component pages so that you can add their themes to your pages. If you want to browse themes, just use the tag search and search theme on it. Installing the theme is usually pretty easy and explained on the page itself. It's usually just 1 or 2 lines of code you put at the top. After you're happy with your sandbox, you're ready to post. To do so, go to the contribute page on the SCP Wiki, scroll down to the bottom for the generic page, and type art, followed by whatever you want the article to be called. Create a new page, then copy everything from your sandbox and slap it into the editor. Change the title and hit post. If you're hosting the images on site, make sure to re-upload all of them on the final page the same way you did in the sandbox. Once you're done, make sure to add the artwork or artist tag, depending on which type of art page you chose, and the _image tag. And after all that, you've done it. I can personally guarantee you that the SCP Foundation will see this. It'll show up on the artwork hub on the SCP Wiki. Sometimes the people responsible for actually writing the damn articles will see it. Just look at all of these angry researchers. They are so mad. Well, that's about it. If you'd like to see a more detailed guide, go check out Uncertainty Crossing's guide on the wiki. It explains things in more detail than here and is definitely worth reading. But yeah, congrats. It's not a honeypot. I mean, if it is, they haven't come after me yet, and I don't even know what a VPN is. What? That's ridiculous. It's not like they can read our minds. Plus, this is a creative fiction site, and none of us are real.